My dear child, I come to you with urgency, because something hidden has now been brought to light. A bank account, carrying your name, has surfaced under the scrutiny of authorities. They have flagged it, they are raising questions about transactions, and yet, none of these movements were yours. You never authorized them, never touched this account, and yet, it carries the weight of your name. Pause here and consider this: your name is not just letters. It is your divine imprint, your spiritual signature on this earth. And someone thought they could secretly attach your sacred identity to actions you never committed. They believed they could hide, they believed they could steal, but heaven says enough. The discovery of this account is not merely financial, it is spiritual warfare being exposed. This is not coincidence. This is revelation. Authorities stumbling across this hidden account is no accident. It is a sign that the unseen hands moving against you are now being dragged into the light. Heaven is moving swiftly to protect you from what could have been a devastating snare. Imagine if this remained hidden for years longer, how much could have been tied to your name? How many accusations, how much damage to your reputation, your credibility, your freedom? But now, heaven says, the trap is uncovered before it closes upon you. The enemy never plays small. Their intent was not only to confuse the banking systems, it was to confuse your destiny. This account symbolizes every spiritual attempt to place debts, chains, and burdens upon you that you did not agree to. False debts, false credits, false accusations, all were meant to weaken you. But this discovery is proof that God will not allow you to carry what was never yours. Even as authorities ask questions, even as worldly systems may demand answers, I assure you, your name will be defended. Heaven has stepped in before your earthly life could be entangled in accusations. This is not the beginning of your downfall, but the beginning of your vindication. For every question raised against you, heaven has an answer prepared. For every accusation, truth is rising like the morning sun. Type Amen 8976 to get blessings. And here is the deeper layer: this discovery is a mirror. In the natural, it is about a bank account. In the spiritual, it is about hidden channels, hidden doors, hidden energy flows that were never meant for you, but were forced upon you. Those who thought they could chain your destiny with hidden contracts are finding themselves exposed. And this exposure will ripple. What has been revealed will lead to further revelation. So, I say to you, do not panic. Do not fear. Lift your eyes and know, this is not a warning meant to crush you, but to prepare you. The heavens are clearing your name. The truth is standing on your side. And what was meant to break you will become the very proof that you were chosen, shielded, and defended by the Highest. Let me reveal what others cannot see with their natural eyes. This hidden account that has surfaced is not the result of mere clerical error or financial accident. It was intentional. Someone, whether in the physical realm or guided by darker forces in the unseen, chose to attach your name where it never belonged. They believed they could forge, hide, and profit while you carried the burden. But I tell you now, their strategy is unraveling under the light of heaven. This is not simply about numbers, accounts, or transactions. This is a strategy. Understand this: whenever the enemy targets your destiny, he does not always come with open attacks. Often, he moves in shadows, using deceit, using trickery, hoping you will not notice until it is too late. By planting your name onto false records, by binding you to financial activity that never belonged to you, their aim was to tarnish your reputation, to cloud your honor, and to weaken your authority. In the physical realm, it may appear as fraud, forgery, or unlawful access. But in the spiritual realm, it is more dangerous. It is an attempt to siphon your blessings, to reroute streams of provision that heaven ordained for you, to tie your name to debts, chaos, and accusations, so that when doors of opportunity open, your credibility is questioned. They wished to see you slowed down. They wanted you distracted, weighed down with false accusations while they secretly fed on what was stolen. But hear me, no strategy of the enemy goes unseen. You may think they covered their tracks well. They may have operated in secrecy, using channels that seemed unreachable. But the all-seeing eyes of heaven pierced through their shadows. Before you even knew to ask, the truth was recorded. Every hidden action has already been entered into the eternal ledger of justice. They believed they were clever, but their cleverness has betrayed them. And let me reveal this, the one who plotted this is not a stranger to you. The hand behind this scheme is closer than you may expect. Someone who thought they could outsmart both the earthly systems and heaven's watchful gaze. They are not unknown, they are someone who thought they knew how to maneuver around you. And though they believe they are safe behind legal loopholes and secret connections, they are already ensnared in their own web. Type Amen 679 to get blessings. Their plan was designed with precision. To place you under suspicion while they profited. To see your name questioned while theirs remained hidden. To feed off your blessings while you remain distracted by defense. But heaven says, no more. The same account they used as a trap will become the evidence of their own downfall. The strategy they thought was flawless has already cracked. And with each day, more light will pour in, until their name, not yours, is bound to the deceit. So listen carefully, do not fear the strategy. Exposed plans are powerless plans. You are defended, your name is ringed with fire, and heaven is already dismantling every false web they tried to spin around you. Their intent was to weaken you. But instead, their exposure will strengthen you. What they built in secret is about to become their public undoing. Let me take you deeper into the meaning of these false transactions that were carried out in your name. On the surface, they look like numbers on a ledger, credits and debits you never authorized. But in the spiritual dimension, each false transaction carries weight. It is not simply money moving, it is energy, it is intention, it is a narrative being written about you without your permission. And if unchecked, that false narrative can ripple into both your earthly and spiritual life. Type Amen 157 to get blessings. Think of it this way, every debit taken from that account without your hand upon it is an attempt to drain your vitality, to strip you of strength, to create losses that were never meant to be yours. Every false credit placed under your name is an attempt to plant accusations, to suggest you benefited from something you never touched, so that suspicion might fall upon you when blessings begin to flow. The enemy knows how perception works. They hope to paint you as entangled, even when you are innocent. But here is the truth, heaven has seen the ripple before it reached its full wave. If left hidden, these false transactions could have grown into accusations in courts of men. They could have hindered opportunities, cast doubt over your integrity, and even blocked the flow of blessings that are rightfully yours. In the spirit, they could have acted as spiritual chains, records used by accusers to say, see? This soul is guilty. This soul does not deserve the next level. Yet I, Michael, tell you, those accusations are false. Those chains are broken. And every ripple that was meant to spread destruction is being reversed back upon the source. Now, listen carefully. Do not underestimate the cunning of those who engineered this. They were counting on silence. They were counting on delay. They hoped that by the time this came to light, you would already be entangled, already defending yourself instead of advancing into destiny. Their intent was not just to touch your money, it was to touch your time, your focus, your faith. To drain you in battles of explanation rather than empower you in battles of destiny. But hear me, heaven has intercepted the ripple. The wave that was meant to grow against you has been cut short. Instead, it will become evidence of heaven's defense over your life. For every false debit, heaven decrees restoration. For every false credit, heaven decrees vindication. You must also see the higher purpose. This exposure teaches you not only the schemes of the enemy but also the extent of your spiritual authority. Your name carries such weight that dark forces sought to manipulate it. That means you are marked for greatness, marked for abundance, marked for impact. Otherwise, why would they bother? Take this revelation not as fear, but as fuel. You are learning how the enemy moves so you will never again be caught unaware. And I promise you this, every ripple meant to drown you will turn into a wave that lifts you higher. What was falsely tied to your name will be stripped away, burned in the fire of divine justice, until your name shines brighter than gold, untarnished, unquestionable, and restored. Type Amen 546 to get blessings. Child of light, I must show you something that will give you peace. The timing of this revelation is not random. This hidden account, with its false transactions, could have remained buried for years. It could have continued to exist in silence, gathering more false records, more false accusations, waiting to erupt at the worst possible moment. But heaven decreed, now. Bring it forth now. And so it surfaced. Do you understand why? Because you are on the threshold of a major turning point in your life. Doors are about to open that require your name to be clear, your record to be clean, your spirit to be untangled from hidden snares. If this account had stayed concealed, it could have become a weapon against you at the very moment of your breakthrough. Imagine being accused of what you never did, right when the blessing you prayed for was about to be released. That was the enemy's plan, but heaven has interrupted it. This is not punishment, it is protection. The timing is divine. It may feel unsettling that this came up now, but I tell you, rejoice that it did not come later. For later, the consequences would have been harsher, and the accusations louder. Heaven is saving you from future sabotage by exposing it in the present. Consider this carefully, heaven allows certain truths to rise to the surface not to harm you, but to protect you from greater harm. This exposure is proof that heaven is watching over every detail of your life. What you did not know to pray against, heaven already blocked. What you did not see, heaven already uncovered. What you did not notice, heaven dragged into the light so you could stand free. And here is a deeper revelation, this exposure is also a test of your faith. Will you see it as disaster, or will you see it as divine intervention? The enemy hopes you will panic, that you will think this is an attack meant to destroy you. But heaven says, this is my mercy. This is my defense. This is my hand pulling you out of the net before it tightens. Type Amen 4987 to get blessings. Mark this moment, the enemy meant this account to be a silent noose around your destiny. But instead, its exposure has become proof that heaven fights for you. What was meant to trap you will become the very thing that clears your name. What was designed to bring shame will actually bring honor, because when all is revealed, the truth will show you were innocent from the beginning. So do not fear the questions. Do not fear the investigations. Even if earthly authorities press for answers, heaven has already decreed your vindication. This is why it surfaced now, because heaven is one step ahead of the enemy. You are not walking blindly into a trap. You are being escorted out of danger before it even arrives. Take courage. Heaven is always on time. And right now, that timing is your shield. I must now draw back the veil so you may understand, this hidden account is not random. It did not appear out of thin air. It is not simply the work of faceless systems. Behind it, there is a hand. Behind the hand, there is a heart. And behind the heart, there is intent, dark, greedy, and cunning. The one who tied your name to this account is not a stranger across the world. No, the truth cuts closer. This is someone who knows of you, someone connected to your circle in some way, either through blood, business, or past dealings. They are not invisible. They are not distant. They are closer than you think. This person believed they were clever enough to use your identity without you ever discovering. Perhaps they thought you would never notice. Perhaps they thought banking systems were too vast for such things to ever surface. Perhaps they even laughed, whispering to themselves, "This will never come to light." But what they forgot is that heaven is not mocked. What is done in secret always calls for exposure. Their heart was moved by greed. Instead of seeking their own portion, they sought to feed off of yours. Instead of building, they wanted to steal. Instead of walking their own path, they tried to entangle themselves in yours, hoping to siphon what rightfully belongs to you. Like a parasite attaching itself to a living host, they thought your energy, your name, your blessings could sustain them without consequence. Type Amen 6547 to get blessings. But heaven has now intervened. And I tell you this, their face is being revealed. Slowly but surely, their identity will rise to the surface. You will sense it, your spirit will confirm it, and events will align so that you cannot deny who stood behind this shadow. Already, they feel the weight of exposure. Already, their actions are unraveling. And listen carefully, they are afraid. Even now, though they mask it, they know the walls are closing in. For the account was meant to be hidden, but now it has surfaced. The transactions were meant to remain buried, but now they are questioned. Their cloak of secrecy has been torn, and soon, the light will leave them no place to hide. Child of light, do not let your heart be troubled when you realize who it is. Do not let betrayal crush you, for betrayal only proves how valuable you are. They would not have targeted you if you were not carrying divine wealth, both spiritual and physical. Let this serve as evidence that your destiny is rich enough to attract both heaven's favor and the enemy's envy. Be watchful. Trust the confirmations that come. For their shadow movements are becoming plain. The very evidence they tried to bury is now speaking louder than their denials ever will. And when their face is revealed, do not fear, it is not for your destruction. It is for your vindication. For heaven decrees, no weapon formed in the dark shall prosper. The one who thought they could steal, bind, and hide will soon find themselves trapped in the very snare they set for you. Their moves are ending, beloved. The game is over. Pause and remember this, your name is not an accident. It is not a mere arrangement of letters. It is a seal. It carries the vibration of heaven, the imprint of your destiny, and the mark of the eternal upon your life. Your name, in both the natural and the spiritual, is guarded. No one can permanently soil it, no matter how cunning their schemes or how deep their deception. Type Amen 97,763 to get blessings. What the enemy attempted by attaching your name to false accounts and fraudulent transactions was an act of spiritual violation. They sought to drag your name through mud, to create a record of guilt where only innocence exists. They wanted others to look upon your name with suspicion, with doubt, with mistrust. But I stand before you to declare, your name has been sanctified by heaven, and no lie can prevail against the truth heaven has stamped upon you. Even if men whisper. Even if authorities question. Even if the enemy spreads rumors, documents, or false stories, know this, none of it can stick, because divine protection surrounds you. The shield around your name is like fire. Lies burn away when they approach it. False records disintegrate when exposed to it. Accusations collapse under its weight. For heaven has decreed, this one's name belongs to me. Your name carries authority. When spoken, it moves doors. When written, it shifts destinies. This is why the enemy tries so hard to tamper with it. He knows that heaven already recognizes your name as a key to blessings, promotions, inheritances, and breakthroughs. If he can twist the perception of it, he hopes to delay what is coming to you. But hear me well, delays are not denials. What heaven has authorized under your name cannot be revoked by trickery. Even now, angels are standing watch over your identity. Every digital system, every ledger, every record connected to you is under surveillance from heaven's court. Where others would be vulnerable to falsehoods, you are guarded by the decree of the Most High. That means your reputation, your character, and your future are shielded. If men accuse, heaven defends. If enemies write lies, heaven writes truth louder. I tell you this with urgency. You must not fear when your name is mentioned in questioning. Stand still. Stand tall. Heaven delights to vindicate you. What others intended as a smear will become your crown. What they thought would be your downfall will become your platform for testimony. And here is the promise, every curse attached to your name through financial deceit will return to the sender. Every fraudulent tie will recoil like a whip. Every shadow that tried to cling to your name will scatter. For your name is anointed, sealed, and defended. Type Amen 873 to get blessings. So, walk boldly. When you hear your name spoken, do not tremble. Lift your head, because you are marked for victory, not defeat. Your name carries glory, not shame. And no fraud, no scheme, no hidden account can undo what heaven has written over you. Now that the hidden has been revealed, you must not remain passive. For heaven is fighting for you, yes, but you also have a role to play. You must align with divine instruction so that your protection and vindication may manifest in full strength. This is the season where action, both spiritual and practical, is required of you. First, hear me in the Spirit, you must untangle your name from every false tie. This is done not by fear, but by declaration. Lift your voice and say, I reject every fraudulent chain tied to my name. I claim only what heaven has ordained for me. My name is cleansed, my record is pure, my destiny is intact. Next, I instruct you to pray over your identity. Call upon the protection of the Most High over your documents, your signatures, your accounts, your records. Visualize a fiery ring of angelic guard around everything that bears your name. For the enemy cannot cross a boundary set by heaven. Each prayer you release is not mere sound, it is a shield, a barrier, a wall that blocks intruders. Now, in the physical realm, be wise. Do not ignore this warning. Examine your accounts, your records, your transactions. Stay vigilant. Heaven is not only spiritual, heaven equips you with discernment to act wisely in the natural. If you sense something suspicious, investigate. If you feel prompted to check, do not delay. Consider this moment a divine alert system, one that prevents future sabotage by stirring you to act now. Your prophetic action also involves courage. Do not shy away from questions. Do not cower when accusations arise. Stand tall, for heaven already defends you. Your boldness will disarm those who hoped you would be intimidated. For those who speak falsely against you, your calm confidence will expose their lies more than any argument. Type Amen 878 to get blessings. You must also reaffirm ownership only of what is yours. Declare, I will not accept stolen blessings, nor will I carry false debts. What belongs to me by divine right will come into my hands. What is not mine, I reject. This act of spiritual alignment ensures you are free from karmic entanglements, free from false obligations, free from burdens heaven never placed on you. And let me speak this plainly, do not delay. The longer fraudulent ties remain unchallenged, the more they attempt to root themselves. Strike now with your words, with your prayers, with your vigilance. Heaven is urging you forward quickly, because your next season is one of breakthrough, and the enemy is scrambling to delay it. Remember, prophetic action is not fear-driven. It is faith-driven. It is not about fighting alone, it is about partnering with the armies of heaven who already stand ready to guard you. So rise, beloved. Declare. Pray. Watch. Act. For in doing so, you are aligning with heaven's defense, ensuring that your name, your blessings, and your future remain untouchable, uncorrupted, and divinely secured. We have come to the conclusion of this revelation, and I must leave you with truth that will ignite your spirit with hope. What began as a hidden snare will end as your public testimony of victory. The very thing the enemy tried to bury in secrecy, the account, the false transactions, the shadowy schemes, has become the stage upon which heaven will demonstrate its justice and power. What was meant to shame you will elevate you. What was designed to weaken you will strengthen you. What was planted to accuse you will instead vindicate you. This is the way of heaven, to turn traps into stepping stones, to transform darkness into proof of light, to take what the enemy meant for evil and weave it into the tapestry of your destiny. I want you to see the greater picture. This is not just about an account. It is not just about money, systems, or transactions. It is about your legacy, your credibility, your divine name. Heaven is making a statement, no lie attached to your name shall stand. This moment is about stripping away false coverings so that your identity shines untarnished, and your path forward is free of shadows. Type Amen 3829 to get blessings. Mark this truth, the one who plotted against you is already caught in their own snare. Their exposure will not be by your hand, but by divine orchestration. Events will align, evidence will surface, and their own actions will condemn them. They will be forced to face what they thought would remain forever hidden. And you Yes, you will walk away untouched, your name brighter than before. Your victory will not be quiet. Those who doubted you will watch as truth unfolds. Those who whispered suspicion will see heaven's defense play out in full. The very systems that questioned you will become instruments of your vindication. And in the spiritual realm, your testimony will echo, "This one is untouchable by fraud, corruption, or deceit." I remind you, you are stepping into a new season. The uncovering of this scheme is the final sweep before breakthrough. It is the last attempt of the enemy to block what is coming, because he knows the abundance and honor assigned to you are close. But he has failed. His plan was exposed too soon, dismantled before it could fully form. Rejoice, then. Do not let fear linger in your heart. Instead, let praise rise from your lips, for you have seen the hand of heaven intervene on your behalf. You have witnessed how deeply you are loved, how fiercely you are defended, and how powerfully you are protected. I leave you with this promise: your financial destiny is being rewritten in truth and light. No counterfeit ties, no fraudulent records, no shadow schemes can alter it. You will step forward with a name cleansed, a path cleared, and blessings that cannot be stolen. Walk in confidence. The final word has been spoken, and it is this: victory is yours. Type Amen 657 to get blessings.